And now to honor America, especially the brave men and women serving our nation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
To the Hosannas, the Star-Spangled Banner,
Y'all told me I took too long with the last one. Innocent until.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Y'all didn't even watch that video I just put in the beginning, did you? Hey, man, I want to take a moment, man, to say shout out for everybody out there dealing with depression, be you man, woman, or child. I'm not one of those people that I don't really believe in the whole self-help phenomenon where you just say things to make people feel better, man. I think you have to really pay human beings attention and be genuinely compassionate for them, man. So obviously I don't know who I may be speaking with or to right now. So just shout out to you, man. I don't know what will, avail in your situation, but I'm praying for you. And, I'm just praying for you, man. People are thinking about you. And Taylor, man, are we getting a real live 4K view of what this case would have looked like had there been a preliminary hearing to begin with, man? Dismissed, man. Somebody said, there's no judge alive, and correct me because I'm going verbatim here, there's no judge alive that's going to dismiss these charges against Bryan Kohberger. Let me remind me to show you guys something, right? Remind me to show you guys something in a minute, but I want to address that, man. Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. Now, if I misquoted what was said, I plan on putting that little comment. And by little, I don't mean to be disparaging or condescending. I mean, I just plan on putting a comment in the video so you guys can see it yourself. So if I misquoted them, then I apologize. And maybe they said the indictment and not the charges, because a distinction needs to be made there. Now, let me tell you what I was going to do for this video. I was going to go to some of these news, Court TV, Law and Crime. We don't do News Demon Nation over here, bro. We don't do that at all. But I was going to go to some of these other media outlets and hear, what they have to say, because I know they bring on experts and stuff. They bring on former and present defense attorneys, prosecuting attorneys, FBI agents, whatever. We ain't talking about Coffee After Dark, man. Y'all know how that go, man. Me and Coffee After Dark, the same litigation experience, the same legal experience and knowledge that everybody else. That people who've never been in the legal system have. Zero. You know what I mean? We might as well go play NBA ball or something. We know more about being professional NBA players, me and Coffee After Dark, than we know the legal system. So we're not even going there. But we're just going to look at some of these people and hear what they were going to say, so I could give you guys a little more detail about this case. But then I made my last video, man. Shout out to you guys. I put a little clip of it in the beginning. Did I? Or did I change my mind by the time I edited this video and put it out? But either way, it's out there, man. You know me, I'm going to forget the name all of the time. But it's out there, man. Silence Against a Strategy or something like that. It's on the page, man. And shout out to the commenter that said I took a while to put out, another video. Out loud and clear, big dog. Young lady, I don't remember if it was a man or woman. Loud and clear, I heard you. I know you guys want to hear me talk about, the Idaho 4 case. Rest in peace to those victims. I get it. I'm not against it. Loud and clear, heard you. But I did put out content. I actually put out 2 videos, and they were about the Carly Russell case. So I don't know if you guys just don't care to watch those videos, or if YouTube is not putting them in the algorithm for you to see. But you can always come to, the video tab in the community, man, and check and see if I put out new videos. I'm going to. I've been a little lazy lately as far as shorts and stuff go, but I definitely am going to try to put out at least 1 video per week for you guys. And I guess, I need to make it about Bryan Kohberger dismissed, man. No judge alive. No judge alive. Remind me to show you guys something. But before I show you something, I want to tell you something. Now, don't say I'm making this up, man, because it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. I'm reading this directly from WNEP.com. A look at Bryan Kohberger's grand jury indictment. I mean, damn it, if Coffee After Dark and Nancy Disgrace can get on TV and tell us, what's going on in this case as they make things up as they go. Where the hell is Ashley Should Be Banfield? Did they get banned from dropping sources every day about this case, or have I just put them that far out of my algorithm? Man, who cares? Listen, man, Brett Regal, Monroe County-based defense attorney. He talked to WNEP, and this is what he had to say after they asked him about this grand jury indictment versus it going through a preliminary hearing. Listen, verbatim. This is not me talking about the comment that I said I'm going to put in here or not. This is me reading this man's words verbatim. So if somebody lied on him, it's WNEP, it's not me. There's an old joke that goes that in the grand jury, the prosecutor ought to be able to get the grand jury to indict a ham sandwich. Listen to me, man. This is not about jokes, man. This is not about jokes. Somebody said, that young lady was just convicted of murdering her boyfriend. She castrated his body, she cut his body up, whatever, dismembered his body, his head. You see his mom on the trial testifying and all that, and she was talking about the lady got convicted. They gave her a life sentence, but the young lady in my comments was talking about how people were joking about the victim. He got dismembered. You know what I mean? Don't get me on my I can't stand feminists. The world is full with too much misandry rants. Don't get me on that. The man was dismembered, and you have people, I see that, this is what I told her. I said, as long as it's a man that is a victim, people always think it's appropriate to make jokes about abuse, about murder, whatever. Like, not just women, men too. As long as it's a man that's a victim, okay, we're not going down that rabbit hole, man. But please, if you're in my audience, don't do that. Don't do that. Because if you don't care about men, then at least extend your mind to care about the women that you care about, who care about these men who are being abused and murdered and such and so forth and so on. Let me get back to it. I said all that to say this is not a joke. He made a joke, but this is not a joke. He's telling you how outrageous it is and how easy it is. Remind me to show you something for grand juries to indict people. He said there's an old joke. And the joke says a prosecutor should be able to get the grand jury to indict a ham sandwich. And what the joke essentially means is that a grand jury is not a bipartisan proceeding. It's not that both parties get a shot and a say. It's a one-sided process. So if there's good evidence and questionable evidence, they just don't share that part. Now by that part, I'm sure and assuming he's meaning the questionable evidence. Because he says if there's good evidence and questionable evidence, they don't share that part. They being the prosecution, since he's already affirmed what we all know, the defense isn't even there to present their case or to rebut the prosecution's case. He goes on. Regal says any potential weaknesses in the prosecution's case may not be the main motivator here. And this makes sense. And I think this is something we all need to be keen to. But rather the ability to keep evidence and witnesses in the case a secret. I need to read that again. I don't mean to be redundant. Regal, who is a Monroe County-based defense attorney, says any potential weaknesses in the prosecution's case may not be the main motivator in the grand jury, but rather the ability to keep evidence and witnesses in the case a secret. That information would have been on a display in the preliminary hearing that had been scheduled for late June. The only questions, he goes on to say, that gets asked in the grand jury proceeding are the questions that the prosecution wants asking. There isn't an opportunity for the defense to ask the questions that are important. This is a defense attorney. I'm reading this once again from WNEP. I will put the link in the description, Lord willing, so you can go read it yourself. Now you would say, we play devil's advocate over here. We just don't go with one-sided arguments because they fit our narrative or what we want to believe. So you would say, hey man, this is a defense attorney. He's going to argue the defense's side. Cool. Makes sense. Remember I said I wanted to show you something?
It doesn't take a lot of evidence to get a grand jury to, issue an indictment. It doesn't take very much at all. And
now, I want to introduce you to a young man. He has a 20 to 25 year tenure in the homicide detective department with the LAPD. This man has been a professional homicide investigator for 20 to 25 years of his life. He investigated one of the most high-profile cases that America has ever seen. I'm not going to tell you what that is because it's sensitive to me. But it shouldn't be very hard for you to go and find out what it is. This is a guy who, though he's supposed to be on the side of justice, and I don't know him or his resume to say he isn't, detectives usually solve crimes, which means they are usually testifying and on the side of the prosecution, not the defense. Let me say that. I said usually. I'm not even implying any miscarriages of justice here or any criminal acts or behavior on the part of the detective here. I'm just saying they solve crimes, so they're usually on the side of the prosecution. So if the defense attorney from Monroe County, Mr. Creel, whatever his name was just saying what he was saying because he's a defense attorney and he's arguing the defense's side, why did this 20 to 25-year professional homicide detective just sit up there and say it doesn't take a lot of evidence for a grand jury to indict? He said the same damn thing that the defense attorney said. Remember, the defense attorney told a joke. He wasn't being callous. He was just telling a joke to show us how easy it is. He said the prosecution should be able to get the grand jury to indict a ham sandwich. Now we get this 20 to 25-year professional homicide detective saying it doesn't take a lot of evidence to get a grand jury to indict. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm a total fan. If this is the justice system we have, then this is the one we need to go with. When you get these cases where somebody is accused of child molestation, rape or whatever, and they end up getting murdered by someone else who feels like child molesters and rapists and stuff need to be, I'm not with that, bro. I'm not with that. I'm a singular-minded man. If I'm right here, I'm right here. I'm so black and white, it's probably pitiful. If I'm right here, I'm right here. If I'm right there, I'm right there. If street justice is the way that we go, then I'm not mad at Bryan Kohberger or whoever. Let me not even say Bryan Kohberger, because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if he's guilty, and I don't think he is. But some of these other people, the Long Island serial killer, buddy, I'm sorry. I don't know your case. I think you are. I think you're guilty. I'm sorry. They just laid it out too easy. They came out the door laying your case out, big dog. I think it's over with for you. Rest in peace to your victims. The young lady I mentioned earlier who dismembered her boyfriend, her husband, and got a life sentence after she was convicted. If street justice is the call, guys, then I'm not mad at her for murdering her boyfriend. I'm not mad at the Long Island serial killer for the people he killed. Because if you get to decide when it's okay to break the law and punish people and abuse people and murder people, then everybody else does too. And they don't have to abide by your logic and your reasoning. If somebody cuts them off in traffic and they decide that that's a good enough reason to dismember them and murder them, you don't get to say, well, the rule is they got to be a child molester. Who gave you the authority to make the rule for everybody? Either we're abiding by the established rules or everybody just gets to be outlaw out here. And I'm abiding by the established rules. That's just the bottom line, because I ain't no damn outlaw, because I had some bodies under my belt if I was. And I'm pretty sure somebody would have probably unbodied me. So I'm just saying, guys, we got to calm down from our self-righteousness. It doesn't matter if somebody was a child molester. It doesn't matter if they just went to jail because they were a habitual DUI violator. It doesn't matter. The justice system is there to deal with crimes, not outlaw justice. If you're on the side of outlaw justice, then I want to say some words that I shouldn't say. But like I say, then you logically don't get to determine or be mad at any other criminals, no matter what they did, because you believe that people get to determine when people should be punished and murdered or whatever. That's how you think. You think it's okay for us to determine that. Let me get back. Since I said all that rant, I said that rant to say something. I still know our justice system is broke. Because I don't know how nobody could go behind closed doors, and I'm pretty sure if I talk to some prosecutors or some defense counsels even, or judges or whoever in the legal system, they could tell me how it makes sense sometimes that grand juries need to be impaneled because certain witnesses and certain evidence does need. I'm pretty sure that they can make that make sense to me. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see how it makes sense, though. I need that explanation. Because if you're accusing somebody of a crime, then why in the hell do you get to go behind closed doors and keep them out of the proceedings, gather people in the room and tell them only what you want them to know and say, this is enough to indict them of this crime? Because you know what happens if they're not indicted, guys? You know what happens. I'm not speaking condescendingly to you here. If someone is not indicted, you know what happens, right? The charges are dropped. Because we say we don't have enough evidence to continue this process. So now let's get back to that comment that I told y'all about. Somebody said, I hope this is what they said, because I don't want to butcher them or misquote them. There's not a judge alive who would drop these charges. Correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all don't watch, whoever you watch, the real litigation experts. You watch them? Because I didn't. I don't think Ann Taylor asked for the charges to be dropped. I think it's very clear she asked for the indictment to be dropped. There's a difference, guys. You either drop the indictment or we going back to prelim. Now, I was a little confused when I read that motion that she filed, because if the indictment is dropped, aren't we going back to prelim here too? Or if the indictment is dropped or the charges dropped. I don't think that's the case. This is where I need you guys, you professionals out there, to correct me if I'm wrong. I know a lot of people are sitting in jail right now that haven't been indicted. I don't know what it is the law is, you know. I don't know if there's a nationwide law. I don't know what it is where I'm at in Florida or where you're at, but I know a couple of years ago I was studying a case, and I'll be frank with you, one of my homeboys was in jail. And the law back then in Georgia was they could keep you in jail for 90 days without indicting you, and then they had to give you a bond. So you sat in jail without being indicted. So in this case, I don't know how it works in Idaho, but it doesn't seem to me that she's going as far as to saying drop the charges. She's saying drop the indictment that the grand jury, handed down. Because now we have to go back and see if y'all even had enough evidence. And that's why it was so important for me to put that video of that 20 to 25 year tenure professional homicide detective in there. He's saying it doesn't even take a lot of evidence. Now let's get back to this case, guys. We already know that they didn't really present a lot of evidence because they ain't presented nothing. Look at what's going on in the Long Island serial killer case versus what's going on in the Idaho 4 case. You tell me something, man. This is an opinion here. We can go back and forth about it. Which one of those cases is more high profile? Now, recency bias is going to come into play in most of our answers here, but I'm personally going to say definitely the Idaho 4 case. Now, I might be wrong there, but I'm asking that question to say, why, if they had all of this evidence that all of the Bryanators keep telling us that they have, why are they being so closed-doored about it? Because Ann Taylor is not playing, and this is why I kept saying it's cool when they do it, it's a problem when I do it. When News Demon Nation, Nancy Disgrace, all these other people were just coming up with these sources, no facts whatsoever. They just had sources every damn day. The Bryanators were telling us, see, look what they got. See, look what they got. They don't have a damn thing. They got another source. News Nation had 5 sources a day. Source. There was nothing there. Dateline did a whole damn episode that went viral based on, if nothing was there, there's no facts. I guarantee you 90%, if not 99% of that episode, that webinar, whatever that was that Dateline did, slow your ass down, boy. Who are you speaking for? Probably is not, like, it's probably like lie detector tests. Probably can't even be accepted in the courtroom. But we were supposed to believe that. And now they're back, the Bryanators, your backs are against the wall, and their answer is, well, they have evidence, and then, they're just wait. They got it. Ain't nowhere in hell, homie. Nowhere in hell. I want to remind you of something, because this gets lost a lot in this case. 4 people were murdered. 4 people were murdered. Can you imagine what it takes to murder one person? I'm not talking about self-defense and somebody died. I'm not talking about car accident and somebody died. I'm not talking about an unfortunate tragedy and somebody died. I'm talking about 4 people were intentionally murdered. Can you imagine what it takes to murder one person, much less 4? And you want us to believe that the one man that they ain't presented no damn evidence on, that damn touch DNA ain't even no evidence to me. That's not even evidence to me. You want us to believe that he is the person that murdered these 4 people alone. Let me tell you what the kicker is here. On the foundation of if he's not, there is someone still walking the streets, or multiple people still walking the streets that are willing to murder 4 people. You want me to gamble that this non-ass case that the prosecution has not presented is enough for me to gamble the lives of innocent people still living in that area, still living in America, still living in ain't no way in the hell. They need to be doing what the Long Island investigators are doing, the FBI and everybody that helped them in that case. I started to say to him, all y'all Negroes to me, Negro, insure us. We need to know you got the right person. He, she, them, they, whoever, pronoun, noun, whatever, already murdered 4 people. We need to know you got the right person. We ain't got time to be playing these damn games with y'all. What's wrong with y'all high? And now we got Ann Taylor finally speaking, and she came out the closet. How long have you been watching my videos? Do you remember when I was asking, hey man, is Bryan Taylor's defense team saying enough? It feels like they need to come out and say something, because the prosecution and their alley-oop throwing teammate, the media, is painting a public narrative against Bryan. They crucifying. They got to look crazy out here. And the case starts well before they get to trial. And in the courtroom, you already got 90% of the public who the jury will be picked from, thinking this man is absolutely unequivocally beyond a reasonable doubt guilty. Girl, woman, man, whoever the hell on Bryan's defense team need to stand up and say something to speak to this. Remember I was saying that? Well, hell, I probably know what I was talking about. She waited. She picked her turn. You watch boxing, Annie? I mean, this ain't even fair what she's doing to them. It's not even fair what she's doing to them. And for some reason, if you don't watch boxing and you never seen nobody just get slaughtered, like one of the people just like, why are you even in the ring with this guy? He's killing you. If you've never watched boxing and you've never seen that, have you ever cut grass or something like that? You ever used any tools that have to be, you ever had a car that was, struggling a little bit? You got to crank it up in a little bit. When you do it, you got to, Then when you're trying to crank the lawnmower, if you ain't got an electric one, like I had before I left, that ain't none of your damn business. But you got to actually crank it. You pull the string, and zoom, you got to pull it maybe 1, 2, 3 times before. That's kind of like where Ann Taylor seems to be right now, man. The lady is stretching on y'all ass, man. I don't know what's going to happen in this case. I told you, I don't know if Bryan is guilty. He could be guilty. The prosecution could get in the courtroom and lay out a case that's inarguable. But right now, Ann Taylor is stretching on y'all ass, and she ain't even broke a sweat, and y'all panicking. I seen the little articles. Oh, the prosecution mad. Nancy Grace upset. For what? She's playing by the rules. Everything that she's doing, she ain't run to no damn media outlet. She's sending her bullets to the court. She's sending her bullets to the judge. And everybody can submit a FOIA request to see. FOIA, I got a little bit of litigation. Freedom of Information Act. What might have been? She's sent anybody who knows how to get a FOIA request can get that information. She's not playing the prosecution's game. So when I think about this, there's not a judge. Why not? If the evidence points to there should have never been a grand jury indictment, why wouldn't a judge like Judge John, I can't say his name right now because I'm a little too amped up. Why wouldn't a judge like that, who's proven himself to be nothing but fair, throw out this indictment? I don't know. I damn near want to Google indictments thrown out to see what the percentage is. I don't think that's as foreign as people on Twitter. And I think that was, I don't want to say your name, young lady. Shout out to you. You always showing me love, so I ain't coming at you. This ain't no shot at you or nothing. I just don't agree with you respectfully there. This ain't no amen corner anyway. I don't think that's as far-fetched as some people think it is, that this indictment will be thrown out. Remember what I'm saying, guys. I know I'm a little riled up here and passionate, but I'm speaking fact. I'm on my Ann Taylor stuff. I'm saying this based on what we have seen. I am not the Bryanators who's saying, well, wait to see. I'm not going to tell you, hey, man, wait to see if there's enough. Ann Taylor has reviewed. Listen, didn't the judge just give them an extension to go over the grand jury evidence? Weren't they just in court saying she needs to see that? And then they finally got it, and the judge, this just happened. I mean, damn it, this just happened, and the lady is like, I don't even have the analogy. She just got it, and she already saying ain't no way in hell. Let me slow down a little bit here. Remember, that 20 to 25 year tenure homicide detective who told us it does not take a lot of evidence to get the grand jury to indict. Remember that defense counselor from Monroe County who told us, hey man, the prosecution should be able to get a grand jury to indict a ham sandwich. Remember all of that? Remember he said it's not so much all the time about, keeping secret. What he said, I can't remember, but the B part of it was, he said sometimes it's about keeping witnesses and evidence secret. Remember that, right? I'm also realizing that any good defense attorney worth their salt, worth their snuff, or whatever analogy you want to put in there, probably would take this course of action. I don't think that Ann Taylor has just invented something here. I'm not even saying because she did it, the indictment will be thrown out. I think it's something that any good defense attorney worth their salt would do if the need arose. Now, I also don't think that Ann Taylor would just do it because it's something that defense attorneys need to do. So I'm saying two things there, guys. I think it's part of the process of defending your client, and obviously that doesn't mean every motion you file is going to get the charges thrown out. I'm pretty sure that would be more motions or less motions or whatever. You can look at any trial, there are motions to get. In the YNW Melly trial, if you were paying attention to that one, that's the last one that I kind of peeked in on. His defense team filed a motion for those charges to be thrown out. The judge said, hell no. That's it. So motions for things to be dismissed from the prosecution or the defense counsel, it's not strange. So I get that, guys. This could just be part of the process. It is just part of the process that Ann Taylor is utilizing. But I've watched this lady, man. She's as sharp as a knife. She's as dangerous as a murder weapon. No callousness meant there. She's not doing this just because it's part of the process. She's doing this because this lady knows what the hell she's doing, and she has a reason to be doing this. There's nothing about Ann Taylor that is giving me frivolous vibes. I think she would skip over things that were frivolous so she could concentrate on things that were pertinent. That's the vibe I get from her. So not only is this part of the process, I think she's found substantial things to make this part of the process a substantial part of his defense. You heard what I said right now? Because I sounded kind of smart. I ain't really that smart, but anyway. So I just wanted to put that out there so you don't think I'm just sold on, hey, she filed for the church. I get it's part of the process. But I also think this lady is intelligent enough to know, hey, man, we've keyed in on some things here. And when I couple that with that other defense counsel saying, hey, man, they should be able to indict a ham sandwich. And when I couple that with this 20 to 25 year tenure professional homicide detective saying, hey, man, it doesn't take a lot of evidence to get the grand jury to indict. I'm coming back to this case. Was it the evidence? Because we've already had this question. I've already did this video. Or were y'all trying to hide the evidence in hiding a witness? That was our question from the beginning, Miss Bethany Funk. People are saying, they're speculating Bryan was knocking your head off. You're alive, so I ain't got to be as, sensitive with you. You're an adult. I've knocked some heads off. Some women have knocked my head off. Probably ain't a lot of virgins that listen to my content. People are saying maybe Bryan was knocking your head off, or were you the one that reeled Bryan in to be the flunky here? Were you the one that helped plant that seed, Miss Beth? We don't know. Because you haven't come forth, and I'm a little upset. I got some videos saved in my phone because I tried to give y'all ass the benefit of the doubt. I even said it in the video. I said I'm seeing pictures and stuff of Bethany and Dylan, and some of them have proven to be outdated. They were from the past, but I don't know if the rest of them, you see how fair I try to be? I don't know if the rest of them occurring or not. I'm seeing more videos. I'm not telling nobody how to deal with grief. I've said this 1,000 times. I'm not one of those people that say, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're doing this, you're not doing this. I don't care. You're dealing with life how you're dealing with it. I'm not looking at that and saying, yo, man, this means they're guilty of something. I don't do that. I despise people who do. I think that's short-minded, short-sighted, and all the shorts. But I'm seeing these videos of y'all smiling and man. You say I ain't cursed the whole video. I'm thinking about this now after trying to give y'all the benefit of the doubt, and now I'm just getting upset because I'm seeing you can be out in public smiling, you can be out having fun, and your friends are murdered, stabbed to death, and we don't know where the hell go. You can do all of this, but your ass can't come forth and say I didn't have nothing to do with it, and this is what I know about it in defense of your murdered friends. Well, ain't no way in hell. I don't know how the families besides the Chapins, who are awesome, reasonable people. I love them. Y'all know how I feel about them. I know some of you have questions about them. That's fair too. You can question me. You can question everybody. God says you can question him respectfully. So they ain't above questioning. But I love them. You know what I mean? That's my opinion of them. They could. I don't know. Things may change. But besides them, I don't know how the families just sit back and watch y'all. I would be on y'all ass. My child was murdered. 3 other people were murdered. Your ass, if you can't tell us nothing about it, then we don't need to see your ass till we see you in trial somewhere. People talking about, are they going to come to trial? Why the hell would they not? Then I'm going to know something is wrong. Number one, y'all sneaking and indicting this man. Y'all sneaking and hiding evidence from him. And now y'all sneaking and hiding pertinent witnesses too from trial? I don't even know why y'all asking that damn question. The only way them 2 women ain't gonna be in trial is if we all already with Jesus or on the other side of eternity. How in the hell wouldn't they be in trial? Man, y'all done lost y'all damn mind, man. So when I see them pictures and videos of your videos of y'all smiling, so we going back, shorty. Let me get in my black bag here. We going back, shorty, to when we knew that they didn't want your ass at that preliminary hearing because what you had to say would help Bryan, whether it totally exonerated him or it brought some more people under suspicion, it would help Bryan. And then we knew when they convened that damn grand jury, it was because your ass didn't want to talk to them. Now we hear this damn defense counselor saying convening a grand jury sometimes is about hiding evidence and witnesses. Maybe y'all already knew that. Now, you know what, I sound a little foolish here because I've said it several times along with others, is because we knew that they didn't want Bethany, to talk to the defense. So I guess we did know that was high, but he said it plainly though. He said it plainly, and maybe y'all heard it plainly, maybe y'all said it plainly, but I've never heard or said it that plainly. This is a litigation expert saying sometimes the grand jury is just about hiding evidence and witnesses. Bethany, they hid your ass. They hid your ass. And now, I ask you, do you watch boxing, guys? When the first thing gonna happen when I turn this damn video off is I'm gonna say, damn, I should have said this. Damn, I should have did that. I'm not. My man, my sister, I don't know if you was a guy or lady, said, man, damn it, boy, it took you a long time to drop another video. I told you it didn't. It's 2 Carly videos up. I actually dropped double the videos. It's just not as popular. Y'all don't want to hear me talk about that. So y'all say, man, I ain't watching that, whatever. But I got to get this out because y'all said I droughted y'all too long. I took too long. But I'm going to be like, damn, you should have said that. But we know what's going on here. I asked you if you watch boxing. Ann Taylor ain't even started yet. She's just cranking up. She's over in the damn corner stretching, and she's not doing it hiding and doing it. She's not doing it behind no damn brick walls. You can see what she's not doing, what the prosecution is doing. She's not dropping source hints and BS evidence and all this foolishness. Ann Taylor is sending her bullets straight to the damn courtroom for the judge to decide. And you know what I think the decision is going to be ultimately? The more this case unfolds and the more Ann Taylor just got them in the corner beating their ass, and they ain't fighting back none besides being mad and throwing a damn tantrum. Should I break right here? No, I ain't going to break. I'm trying to remember. The more I'm convinced that this man didn't do this. And they know it. Ann Taylor, that's what I mean. His defense team, they know it. And the prosecution knows that they don't have a case. They may actually believe that he did it, but they know they don't have a case. Hey, Moscow PD, University of Idaho, y'all ass better come up with some more tricks, because this bag y'all had ain't gonna work like y'all think it is. This bag of tricks y'all had ain't gonna work like y'all think it was. It ain't. Ann Taylor's on y'all ass. She got y'all in the corner. She beating y'all ass, and she ain't even warmed up yet. Will this indictment, not charges, will this indictment get dismissed? I don't know. Because I told y'all in the last video about this young lady who murdered her damn father, and all the excuses, and the judge only sentenced her to a year. And then after she sentenced her to a year, she let her go home from the day, right after the sentence, and she didn't even serve a damn day of the year. I don't even know if she served 45 minutes. How long does outtake take? And that definitely had to do with the judge. Now, the judge was obviously operating in the perimeters of the court rules that she had, the rules of justice that she had to abide within, the boundaries, right? But we know she let that girl off too damn easy. Some of y'all disagree, but those of us who know if that would have been our son, our husband that she killed, we know you wouldn't have settled for that damn year. Then her not even serving a day of the year, you wouldn't have settled for that. You just saying that because you have no ties to the case and your feminism is kicking in. I'm sorry, I love you enough to say that. You would not have that same response if that was a man that you love. Ain't no way in hell you're going to get me to believe that. And if you would, then something's wrong with your heart. I'm saying that to say there's a chance that this indictment should absolutely be thrown out, and there would be a judge on the case like it was a judge on that case right there, and other judges who've been caught being guilty of misconduct. And they could just let the indictment ride because they with the prosecution, hey man, they getting money or whatever reason they got to say, nah, we got this guy and we're going to stick with him. But then that could be a judge on the case who says, listen man, I'm looking at what's in front of me and ain't no way. Dismissed. Innocent until.
Not a judge in the world, huh? Interesting.